Now, also as I was um, looking through Facebook and I saw Coffee was supporting other people. There was another author who she was promoting, and the other person was like, "No, tell me about your book, Miss Coffy Davis." And I was like, "What?" I had to look at the name. I said, "That is Coffy Davis." All right. I was like, I don't even know. I didn't even know what it was. I was like, but since you support so many other people, I was just gonna buy it hands down just because.
Oh, thank you.
So, and now that I'm here, this is my first time having the book, and I do have an autographed copy of it. It's in here.
It's on probably the second or third page.
Well, yeah, here it is. Oh, I got it. See, y'all need to get y'all some good friends and stuff like this. So I'm definitely interested to know, is MEdusa reflections of an angry girl. Now, this may be I would love to hear about this because you don't have this in your personality does not reflect angry right now.
No, it's a reflection of, it says reflections of an angry black girl because I was, as a youth. So it just deals with like being young and kind of trying to overcome things that, that were, some ups, some downs, and just trying to find yourself basically. So, and it's also kind of just playing on the whole MEdusa. She was looked at like a monster or somebody that was not just pleasant to look at, but somebody like she had the snakes in her hair and all that kind of stuff. And if you know the story of MEdusa, she was cast away from society, and so because of things that happened to her, and so it's just kind of like taking a spin on that and showing that like that monster that you may create or those walls you may put up around yourself are, not necessarily true to you. If you know anything about like snakes and stuff, they're like they regenerate every year. They lose their skin. They become, so it's actually a symbol of like rebirth and stuff like that. So I just kind of played on that whole concept of MEdusa.
Yeah, I had heard that before too. That the story of MEdusa was that she was violated, and she kind of hardened herself, and and became angry, and maybe cast that energy out on other people, and that's how she got that persona. But
when you look at her, you're supposed to turn to stone. Particularly when men looked upon her, they turned to stone. So I took that to mean like a stony persona. Sometimes you may build this wall up, and you may have a barrier between you and people are trying to get through that, but you're stony. Your disposition is stony.
Good stuff. Now, because it's our first time, did you want to even just touch on some of the stories, or did you just want to? Well, I'll read some of the titles here. I saw America's Nightmare with the 3 Ks. The breaks. Ooh, the breaks. It starts off on page 90. Shit's getting real. So it's about.
Well, yeah, and I will say this: it's definitely an adult book. Even though I was a teenager at the time, I went through a lot of different things growing up. So I grew up in Oakland, California, and I went through a lot of different things, different experiences and stuff like that. Just coming of age in the '90s in an urban area that had a lot of violence and stuff like that, and building connects and also running across people during those times that were like lifesavers, in my situation and everything, and also giving birth to my oldest son who's now 25, and just going through the challenges of young motherhood and trying to find yourself at the same time that you're becoming a mom.
It's good that you found at least an outlet for that energy, even through writing. A lot of people probably find more destructive ways, to do that. So it's good that I know for me, I journal, but I haven't done anything I think that could be turned into like story times or anything like that. So
it's probably good. The other book I have is it's called Ghetto Politics, and it's a book of poetry. And this is my copy, so it's all beat up.
That's good. That got love on it.
But a lot of these were just poems that I wrote over the years, and I wanted to do something with it. I actually have 2 books of poetry, but the other one just goes with MEdusa.
Get out of here.
So it's kind of like these are all of these poems were poems that I just collected over the years. When I came to Little Rock, I had started doing poetry, and I was really kind of big on the poetry scene back in like 2004, 5, around that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and Medusa was one of my most requested poems, and that's why I turned it into a book.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I used to be like what they call around here the house poet. So I would come to the poetry venue every week on, I think it was Thursday back then, and I would, I was probably one of the few female poets back then,
Mm-hmm.
and so I would perform poetry all the time, and so I built all these connects in the poetry community, and eventually I did a play called Freedom that was based on poetry, and but during that time I was writing all these poems and performing. And so I did Freedom the play, and I brought a lot of my my artistic friends, and we put on the play at the Robinson Music Hall, Philander. We even did UCA. That's out here in this area, and we did Philander, all the colleges. We were in like all the local newspapers and stuff like that, and then we started traveling regionally. So we went to like Jackson State and all that stuff. So that's where. That's when I really, really got involved in the art scene in Little Rock. And that's when I just had this like big old book of poetry, and I just decided to put those into my poetry books. And because Medusa was so requested, and my poem Medusa, I actually told the whole story of what I tell in that book, but I just told it fast, like within 3 minutes.
Okay.
And so people would request it all the time, and then I would do it like at group homes and stuff like that. And young girls especially would really connect with the stuff I was saying because they felt like they didn't really have a voice. If you remember growing up, a lot of times when you read books either either it was like older books, if you had women it would be like Maya Angelou or Toni Moore, Alice Walker, yeah. So you would read all these books, but most of the time when you studied a lot of, like, especially more contemporary authors, a lot of times you were reading stuff from a male perspective, and it was not that often that you got a current understanding of what is it like to be a black woman or a black girl. So I wanted to tell that story, and so when I started doing the poem Medusa and people started requesting it so much, I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and just write the whole story out. And that's when I wrote that book, and so that's how that came about. And so for the rest of the poetry that I would write, that pretty much the poetry kind of told the story, because all I ever did was write in retrospect, things that happened in the past. So I just wrote the book, and then I also put all my poetry into books of poetry, because I was like, if nothing else, it may not ever be a bestseller or anything like that, but if nothing else, I wanted to get it all out and put it all in print and to have something to leave here on earth,
Are there still, especially since COVID, I don't think there's any poetry things happening like that. They've canceled everything, but things are starting to pick back up or whatever. But,
well, there's the House of Art in North Little Rock, and, they've been going on through COVID, but they went online temporarily, but now they're back actually hosting a venue every Friday night. And that's actually one of the guys I used to do poetry with, and, we would do poetry so much that we also formed a poetry team, and at that time it was called Foreign Tongues, and at that time it was me and it was probably like 6 or 7 guys, and we would also travel and compete, and we would score pretty highly because we would be competing with the nation with different people from all over different states and stuff. And so anyway, so he created the House of Art in North Little Rock, and every Friday night they have open mic.
Oh, wow.
And the crowd now is a little bit younger than me because, back then I was in my 20s, mid-20s. And, I just had the energy and drive to be out there every day, every week or whatever. And now that crowd is probably still that same age. But there are some people, our age and everything too, but for the most part, the crowd is, it's basically, it's been continuing. It's going.
Would you be willing to do your poem?
Sure.